Yes.
Like, can you hear us? Let us know if the sound's not good.
Mike, Aaron Smith, Mike, Aaron Smith, Mike.
So I think he's saying he can't hear us. Let us know if you can't hear us.
Your mic has static. Let me pull off this mic and see if it defaults to the other mic. Now we'll see. Now, Darren, tell us if there's static now. So all better. So somebody says all better fixed. So I removed the little mic right here, the external mic, and the other mic is better. So I guess we'll have to just go through that all over again. So, because people are maybe they're getting static and stuff. So, we're going to give away right here on the live show 3 $100 gift cards to our Paint Life Supply Co. So, he says, what HF? I don't know, Chuck. Anyways, so our Paint Life Supply Co. paintlifesupply.com is our store. So we're gonna give away 3 $100 gift cards. You're looking at who to give them to because we're thankful that you guys are watching us, putting up with us. But getting back to my story. So I'm a self-taught painter. I started my painting company with zero painting experience whatsoever. We do have Maya in here. So in Maya, she's decided that she wants some attention because we're not giving her attention.
Yes.
So it was a big learning curve for 5 years. It was a big struggle, and there was no YouTube, there was no books, and I messed up a lot of things. I got to tell you, I messed up a lot of walls. I messed up a lot of trim. I made a lot of builders mad, and it was a struggle. But I never gave up. I just kept pushing. I was
You
going
like
to
to
learn
solve
this.
problems. You like to figure out why
Yeah.
it wasn't working and figure out why
Yeah.
you know it should work.
And some of and I'll give you just an example. The very first trim package that I painted, I got an airless sprayer, a Titan 440i, and I sprayed the trim package with with a 517 tip, and you can imagine how that came out with. I used Incredicoat to actually spray the trim, and so it was a big disaster. So I didn't panic, or maybe I did, but I just decided I can still, continue on. And I wasn't going to be discouraged and give up. And so I sanded it out, I shot it again, and guess what? It happened again. And so, it was 5 years of that, just learning on my own. And so the advantage I ended up with was, is she back in here?
She is.
So you didn't get rid of her.
No.
So the advantage I ended up with is I learned how not to do things, and then I learned how to fix those things, and then I learned how to do them. So it did give me a little bit of advantage. When I would hire guys, we would just show them exactly how to do it, and they never learned how to fail. And so now is part of my learning curve. But then I decided, about 5 years into it, to make videos to help people not go through the same struggle that I went through. And so I started making videos to teach and educate people how I painted and how I did things. So that's the journey. And I started making videos, and here we lie with 400,000 subscribers now. And you're very intent on reading down there.
Yes, I
So,
am. I'm just reading what's going on in the world.
And so, Lisa's, do you have any gift cards you want to give away yet, or you're trying to figure out somebody to give away to?
I am just looking. Well, at first I was distracted by the dog because this is YouTube and it is real life, and we are in our real office.
Yeah.
And so we have real technical difficulties, but we are here, and we definitely want to just say thank you. Thank you for being with us on this journey. It has been a journey we never really intended to go on. I mean, you intended to have a painting business, you intended to work hard to provide for your family, and you did that, but it's turned into something different and bigger and better. And so we are thankful for you guys being with us on this journey. And let's say,
we have people. I just saw somebody on in here from Chile. I saw somebody on from the UK. I saw somebody from Boston on here. And I don't, Lisa, if you have any questions too, we can answer questions. That's what our live show is about.
COVID did change some things for us, but the one blessing that came out of it is we did open a retail store in Boise, Idaho, and No Hope in the Pope repping Boise here. That's an interesting thing. So if you are repping in Boise, you could come into our store and we will give you $100 of free product. No Hope in the Pope. So that's an interesting name, but if you truly are in Boise, come into the store, tell us who you are, and we will give you the first $100.
There you go. No Hope for the Pope? Is that what?
That's their name.
That's their name? That's an interesting name.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you didn't know, we actually have a retail store in Boise, Idaho now. And so I actually show up at the store, here and there, answer people's questions and stuff. And it's been quite fun. And it's been quite fun actually meeting people, getting to take pictures with people and post them on Instagram and stuff. Kind of cool. So not only do we have an online store, we have a retail store. And there's actually quite a few people watching now, and there's a lot of comments and stuff. I just want to say, if you don't subscribe to our channel, it's just a little button, subscribe, and be one of the subscribers, be one of the 400,000. And what's cool is for 12 years, I've had my YouTube channel now for 12 years. I've been making videos for that long. I've got over 1,500 videos. It's been free to subscribe for 12 years. It will be free forever. It doesn't cost you anything. And you want to hit the little notification bell next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified every time I come out with a new video. And it's always free. It's just a simple way of saying thank you for making the videos and helping support our channel. Wow. Come here. Come here.
That's Maya. So when Maya's not getting attention,
That would be McKenna's dog.
we're grand doggy parents, and so we'll see if that gets rid
Go
of
get it, Maya.
that gets rid of her. So I wanted to read a couple of
Shout
these.
out from Canada is hanging out with us. Okay, you can read a couple, and you're going to select. There's going to be 3 $100 winners.
Well, we already gave
selected
$100 to No Hope in
No Hope for the Pope.
because they're a local person. So Sab Esrat says congratulations from Washington D.C. And Brian Bowman says, God bless you and Lisa, you truly helped inspire me to start my own journey here in Michigan. So thank you, Brian, for sharing. And James O said, I periodically paint units when a tenant leaves and have used Behr paint. Why do they get a bad rep? Seems okay to me. I think all paints have their good, great, better, best, worst. They all have their levels of paint.
Well,
right?
I'll give you my opinion about Behr paint, and this is just my opinion why they might get a bad rap from professional painters, because I consider myself a professional painter. The dog's trying to drag me out the door, but so I used if you guys didn't know, I used to work for Home Depot in the paint department for 2 years. So I got experience mixing paint.
Back when?
A long time ago.
When you had hair.
When I had hair. So that was before I became a professional painter. And I actually got to sell Behr paint. It's been around for a long time. Had a lot of experience talking to Behr reps and dealing with the Behr paint. In my opinion, Behr paint is designed for do-it-yourselfers. That's why it's in Home Depot. That's where
Probably not for spraying and
so in Home Depot, that's where do-it-yourselfers go shop. When I was working in there, we had a professional rep. It was rare that a professional painter came in and bought paint from Home Depot, let alone Behr paint. That was almost never. So it's really geared towards the do-it-yourselfer and the do-it-yourselfer that brushes and rolls. And so for me, when I sprayed, I tested Behr paint multiple times, and it did not spray very well. So one of the big problems with it is when you sprayed it, it ran really bad. It didn't what we call hang well. And so it was very frustrating to spray, because as a professional painter, the bulk of what we do is spraying. and so it did cover very well, but it didn't hang well. So it ran on exterior siding, it ran on exterior doors. It was to me just an absolute nightmare spraying. And so that's where, for me, kind of the bad rap, my opinion about it came because I didn't brush and roll. I wouldn't brush and roll a whole entire exterior of a house. When you brush and roll it, it hangs better because the milk thicknesses goes on less. So maybe that's where some of the bad rap comes from. So that's just my opinion.
And it's been a while since you've used the product, and I think
It's
you know
been
all
probably at least 5 years.
yeah, and all products do have the cheap,
Yeah. So
not
I,
as cheap,
yeah.
not
And
quite as
so
cheap.
I used Bear Premium Plus, which was
Okay.
their top of the line stuff.
then.
And they actually demoed a couple houses for me, gave me the paint for all of it and stuff. And then I bought the paint for a couple houses. But that's my opinion. The dog's taking me away again. Come back here, Maya. So, but I was gonna say, like, a lot of people are getting on and saying thank you, you know, to us. I mean, we've obviously been making videos for quite some time, but once again, we are here to say thank you to everybody out there watching because we literally would not even have one subscriber if you didn't watch.
Well, and we
So-
went to open the store, so No Hope and the Pope wanted to go by the store today, but guess what? It's after 4 o'clock in Boise, and so our store's open 9 to 4. So if you went today, it wouldn't be open because it just closed. But
We had somebody from Mexico.
the only
Mario,
reason we
you know?
opened the store was because people started asking Chris, where can I get those tools? And that's why the store exists, is because you guys have asked for it. So, you know, we really thank you for being a part of this community. And if there are any things, you know, that you want to see Chris review, if there's any videos you want to see him make that he hasn't made, you know, message us, DM us, put it in a thing, and you know, that keeps Chris busy.
Keeps you busy. So if somebody comes to the retail store, can they actually see you live?
Yeah, I typically work the store 9 to 5 Tuesday through Saturday.
9 to 4?
Yep.
9 to 4. So that you could actually meet McKenna, who's been in a bunch of videos. McKenna works the store. Afton works in the store. Armando works in the store. So it's kind of like a family run thing. I'm in the store when I'm not out painting and shooting videos. So do you have any more questions for me? Is there anybody that's got a question? Maybe a paint related question, or do you want to give away some money? Because we are going to give away 5 $100 gift cards to people watching the show. So, and to 2 people, you got to say what Paint Life has meant to you, and you know, done. So, one guy, his name Bushwhack FPV. He says Dunn Edwards. So he's a big fan of Dunn Edwards. Dunn Edwards just recently came to Boise. I found out, so I'm going to be testing Dunn Edwards paint soon. I'm going to go buy some for one of my next projects and give it a whirl, because one of the guys came into our store, our Paint Life store, said that he really liked Dunn Edwards paint. So we got Dan Mickelson hanging out with us. We got Wisconsin, Poland. Greetings from Poland. I mean, there's literally people
And
from
we've
all
actually
over the
shipped
world.
product to Poland.
We-
So that's people think, you know, why make a store? Well, guess what? People in other countries can't get the tools that you're using, and that's why the store exists, is to share those tools or make them accessible.
Because what we found out was I would be using these tools in the videos, and they would just come from my local paint store, and some painters would invent these things and send them to me, and people were like, well, where'd you get the tool? And I'm like, well, just at my local paint store. Or some of them you can't, like Pretty Boy, you can't get it at your local paint store. So we just wanted to make these things available, readily available for painters all over the world to get. And I don't think there's nowhere we don't ship. We get people asking us every day, do you ship here? Do you ship here? We ship everywhere in the world, right?
Yeah, unless they don't let us. So only one thing I sent.
There's only been one country that
Iran. I sent a hat to somebody. Just he didn't buy it.
Iran, let us send our hats to your
He made
painters
it
there.
come back.
Yeah, Iran sent it back. So
Gina, always a VP, has been helpful. Like, she gave our store address to somebody, and she has been saying, definitely credible. You show the truth behind being a great painter. And so, Gina, thank you for being part of the community. We want to give you $100 gift card.
$100 gift card.
How
there
did
you
she
go.
get it?
That's a good question. So, go to our store, paintlifesupply.com, and down in the right-hand corner, there's the chat icon where you actually chat with us. When somebody gets on there and chats, it actually goes to my phone. So, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I did. So, I can't erase it now.
Okay.
But you hit the chat button, and if you've won on our live show, you got to say who you won, what your name is. We'll verify it. We need your email address, and we're going to email you the gift card. And then you can use that gift card on our store. So that's where people get on there and ask questions, but that's where I probably shouldn't have gave out that secret either.
Well,
'Cause then everybody.
Don, the creator of the gooseneck, said congratulations. And so what's cool is the community, of painters that we've been able to be a part of. We have been busy this year with opening a retail store and going in that direction. But it's pretty awesome to be online and see people's names that feel like old friends.
Yeah, and so he invented the gooseneck paintbrush, and that's kind of like painters helping painters. So I created this video series for painters by painters, and it's actually these guys, these painters that paint for a living, day in and day out, and they've invented a tool that's made painting better for them, faster, more efficient for them, makes them money, and they've now sharing that tool with fellow painters so they can make money, be faster, more efficient, just like they can. So instead of like withholding the information, they're sharing the information, even understanding that you might be just as competitive as them and take work from them. They're sharing this information. They're sharing the tools and making us all better. They're bettering the trades. So I've created this video series for painters by painters to help get their products out there, because there's a lot of products out there that people send me that aren't worthy of being on for painters by painters, but only the products that I really like, that I actually use in my day-to-day painting activities, that's in my vehicle, are in this series. And they literally are really great tools, and then they come from great people. So if you've painted something or if you've invented something and it's absolutely amazing and you're a jerk, you might not make it on this series. So these guys are just really cool people that have made some really cool tools, and we want to help them out. So that's us giving back to them.
Well, and if you guys are not aware, you did create a group that is the community, Paint Life members. And can you tell them how they can get on that?
So yeah, I have a Facebook group, and it's a private group. So you have to go get on there and answer a few questions and say that you're not going to be a jerk, basically, because we do not allow cussing. We do not allow disrespect. We allow do-it-yourselfers, and we allow professional painters to get on there and ask questions respectfully and get answered by other painters respectfully. There's absolutely no tolerance for disrespect, because they know, unfortunately, in our industry, there is some disrespect, painters towards other painters, and this is what we are trying to get away from, and trying to show that, look, man, we are, there's a lot of great painters out there that really truly want to help each other. And this is something I started 12 years ago, creating videos that help my fellow painters, man, even though I knew in my own valley, in my own town, they could be my competition, but I never looked at them like that. I looked at them as they're brothers, man, brothers of the brush. We all swing a brush, and I wanted to help them out. And what I understood in the very beginning, this was just my personal belief, was that there's enough work out there for all of us. I literally mean this. I truly believe this from the bottom of my heart. There is more painting work out there for every single painter in my valley, in my town, in my country, and in your countries. You just have to know, how to go get it. And you have to be willing to go get it and do what's necessary to get it. And I'm just going to say just a couple. For instance, I've got tattoos all over my arms. And I understand some people will look at these as I was like, oh my gosh, he's been in prison. He's scary. So, and I understand that, and I'm not going to be judgmental to that person for having that belief because they probably have a reason for having that belief. So what I did is I understood that I wore, if it was 100 degrees outside, I wore long sleeve shirts when I went and did bids to cover my tattoos, so the person wouldn't have to come up with that, maybe stereotype or judgment. I covered them up. I actually used to wear earrings. Yeah, make fun of me. I used to wear two. I think I used to wear like multiple in each ears. I would actually take out my earrings before I walked in and did a bid. And so
I think you should put them on for old
I was-
time's sake.
I was maybe someday because I think
Someday for old time's
I'm not sure. I probably could still get earrings through them because I wore earrings for a long time. But that was the thing. I was willing to make that change. I know a lot of us as painters, me as a painter, I got into painting because I wanted to be an individual. I didn't want to be forced to wear a suit and tie. I didn't want to be told
But at some point, if you want to provide for your family, you have to.
you have to conform to
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
And so I understood that. So then I wore long sleeve shirts. I didn't turn on Metallica on the job site. You'd only want to listen to music your customer wasn't offended by. Then to me, you never know what they're going to be offended by. So it was no music, that I listened to. So it was all about my customer and their experience. So enough lecturing.
So James O says, hello from Chicago. I've learned plenty of tips, caulking on the tape for clean line business. But above all, the enthusiasm and pride you exhibit has been instrumental to me. So that's where Paint Life members on Facebook, that's another thing, is you've been really passionate about just taking pride in your work. And that's what I love. When I go on Paint Life members, I love to look at people sharing their work, showing this is what it looked like before, this is what I did. Because what you do is amazing. You can take something that looks really bad and make it beautiful. And so, that is a place, if you are kind of weary and you're like, nobody cares about what I do, join Paint Life members. They care.
Yeah, and just to expand on that subject, I've been a painter for a long time, and I've always been proud of what I am doing and proud of the career that I chose. So, I went to college for a long time, got a lot of college education behind me, but I chose this career, and this career is an amazing career. And just a quick analogy, I was a police officer, and you go to work every day, and you just typically make people angry every day by writing them tickets and not solving the family fight right. And so sometimes it could be very frustrating because you kind of, you're just making a lot of people a little bit frustrated with you. But as a painter, I would go to work every day and just make people happy. Their house was old and rundown looking. When they left work, when they came back, it looked brand new, and they always had a big smile on their face, extremely happy. And that was always rewarding. Day in and day out is very rewarding, and it's just been an amazing career in that respect. And so it was something that I always felt proud of what I had done, and I've never held my head down and thought I'm just a painter. I've always thought I am a painter, and I'm just as important as any doctor and lawyer as I paint houses.
Paul Peck is with us. He has a drywall channel. And
There we go, Paul Peck.
He said congratulations. So Geraldo de la Cruz.
Rivera?
No, De La Cruz. Thanks for the videos. I live in Tucson, Arizona. I quit my job after 13 years to start painting because you motivated me, and I'm doing pretty good on 3 months now on my own. So Geraldo de la Cruz, you got a $100 gift card. How does he get it?
So to get it, all you got to do is go to our website, our store. We have actually an educational website too, idahopainter.com, where you can go get more tips and tricks outside of YouTube. But go to our store, paintlifesupply.com. That's our online store. Down in the right-hand corner is our chat icon. Jump on there, say that you've won a $100 gift card, and the live show today. We'll verify who you are. We need your email address in that chat so we can email you the gift card. And so, and like he said, man, I mean, inspired, like if I can just inspire one painter to wake up in the morning with a smile on their face and understanding what you do is important, what you do makes a difference, and you can be proud of what you do because you have an art, you have a craft, you have a skill, you have a trade, and that is something valuable and something that truly means something, irregardless of whether you finish high school or any type of education. Your education is every single day on the job site, learning and training, and that's where we go to school, and you should be proud of that.
So LeBron says, what do you recommend for covering stucco so you don't get paint on it while painting trim? They don't want to paint the stucco. So you're going to paint the trim. What do you do to cover it?
So we would mask. So I would use Sure-Tape. So it's now the orange Frog Tape, orange production tape. We would use 1.5 with 9-inch paper, and we would mask off the stucco, and then we would spray the trim or brush and roll a trim. You're getting
I'm
hot.
really hot because you have a light on me.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't need a light on.
It's getting warm in there.
It's getting warm in here.
We want to see how beautiful you are, so we turn the light on.
No.
So, and mask it off. Now, if 9 inches of paper, if you're not comfortable with that, because of overspray or fallout, tack up 9x400 plastic, drop that, and then run your paper and 1.5-inch production tape over the top of that. But Frog Tape, orange production tape sticks really well to stucco, and we mask on stucco all the time with it. Good question.
Yes, that is.
Do you have another question?
Do I have any more questions?
You have. So you've given away 2.
Do you ship to New Zealand? I've given away 3.
So we do ship to New Zealand. We ship anywhere in the world. So wherever you are, we will ship it. But there's one country, Iran, turned down the hat that somebody ordered. So you guys out there in Iran, the politicians, come on, let us send our hats to the painters over there.
Roscoe says, what paint would you recommend to paint glass to make decorative design on an entertainment center?
Well, if the whole piece of glass is going to be covered, XIM UMA primer is about the best primer you could ever put on a hard to paint surface, like a glossy surface or something like that. So if the whole piece of glass was going to be painted, I would be priming it with UMA primer, and then you could put just about anything over the top of that. So I would be using probably like a UMA primer to prime, and then I would probably be using like a multi-surface acrylic, like Sherwin-Williams MSA is a good hard durable product that you could probably put on glass that is going to be very scratch resistant. Glass is there's not a lot of expansion, contraction and stuff. So if you were just putting the design on a piece of glass and not the whole thing was going to be covered, you draw out your design. I probably would prime it with UMA and then put MSA, right over the top of that.
So somebody wanted to know what's the color of your wall. Isn't it like a sage green?
No, it's well.
We don't know.
Let me whip out a fan deck. I would remember.
The paint would be. You put the paint in the closet. So there's little tips. Like our house has multiple colors, and so if we have the paint, I put it in the closet in that room. So if you have touch-ups, which in our crazy house.
So the color is hunter green.
I said a green.
And you were right. And I believe that's Benjamin Moore's hunter green.
I thought it was SW.
Well, it's Sherwin-Williams paint that's on the wall. I believe it's cashmere, but it was color matched, I believe, with hunter green from Benjamin Moore. It could have been hunter green from Sherwin-Williams, but when I was choosing colors, Benjamin Moore has, to me, the best fan deck there is. Their fan deck is absolutely amazing. They have amazing colors on there, and their interior paint, if you haven't tried it, Regal Select is now hands down my favorite interior paint. I absolutely love the product. Cover's amazing, doesn't splatter, hangs very well, low odor, and it's a great product, has a nice looking sheen to it.
So houses in California have metal flashes on the eaves. Do you paint the metal flashing, or do you just need to replace it?
We paint it. So we have the metal flashing on the roofs here too, and we paint it if it's significantly different than the fascia color, and then it all depends on the roof line and stuff like that. But typically, we're gonna paint it, and we've always had success painting it. Um, Gutters, we've never primed the metal flashing, and we've never had it peel or crinkle. Gutters, we always prime the gutters and then spray the gutters. So they always need a bonding primer.
So Justin says, what do you think of Benjamin Moore paint?
So far, like I've tested Benjamin Moore Regal Select, absolutely amazing product. This is my favorite interior paint now. I just recently did a video review of Benjamin Moore Advance, which is a very popular cabinet product. And if you're brushing and rolling your cabinets, it's a great product. I don't brush and roll. I spray, and so the dry time is 16 hours to be able to sand it, which is, I really like industrial PUs, and they dry like a lacquer. You can sand around an hour in between coats, and you can get multiple coats on a day. You don't have to wait 16 hours to sand. I like Renner 851 for my cabinets, but I'll tell you, the Benjamin Moore Advance, it brushed and rolled really nice. Leveled out incredibly well. In the right light, you can definitely tell that you brushed or rolled it.
But that video is coming out pretty soon, right?
It's already out.
Oh, but you have another video coming out.
The Benjamin Moore.
Don't give away too much information.
The Benjamin Moore Advanced video, the review is already out. It sprays like glass. It's absolutely amazing. I do this weekend. I got a video coming out spraying the Advance hanging on this vanity makeover that we were doing. It's a really in-depth video, 49 minutes long. Go check that out this weekend.
So Jennifer Horner says, I'm a female and I do not have a lot of strength in my hands. I purchased a sprayer and find my hands get fatigued. Any recommendations for strengthening?
So, well, it's interesting. I used to squeeze one of those grip things all the time, but I've got, because I've sprayed, tens of thousands of hours with a spray gun in my hand now, arthritis, tendonitis in my fingers, and I don't spray every day, so I definitely have a lot of hand fatigue, trigger fatigue when I go out and do spray now. There's guns out there like the Titan RX Pro. If you don't have that gun, like a contractor 2 gun or a contractor gun from Graco, extremely difficult to pull the trigger, causes a lot of fatigue. The RX Pro is an extremely light trigger pull. The contractor PC gun, the blue gun, is even a lighter trigger pull than that, and that will significantly help you. So having the right gun and then using one of those grip tools and just squeezing that tool. It's not a tool, but it's you get it.
So there are guns that they advertise that they're better.
They advertise them. They were designed specifically to have very light trigger pulls.
Graco has one, don't they?
That was the contractor PC gun.
Okay.
So Graco's contractor PC gun and the Titan RX Pro gun have very light trigger pulls. The PC gun is too light of a pull for me. The RX Pro gun is kind of right there in the middle.
David Underwood said, I legitimately hated painting before watching these videos. Seeing things broken down and done well changed my attitude. Just finished a small project for a client and cashed a check today. Thank you.
That's awesome. It's cool to see it, the simple thing that we do of making videos help so many people and inspire so many people. And it's like when we read stuff like that, this is why we keep doing it, because it just keeps helping so many people out, and it's very rewarding hearing your guys' stories. So.
Well, and to be a part of a community that's sharing, because that's what is cool about Paint Life members. It's not you and me answering the questions, it's the community of painters helping painters. So that's very cool.
So you're going to give away another $100 gift card?
I've given away 3. So
3?
You
I
want
thought
me
you
to
gave away 2.
Well, I gave 1 in the store and then 2 more.
Oh, you did. So we are going to give away.
I could do 1 more.
2 more gift cards for if once we jump off this show, you got to get on there and let us know what Paint Life meant for you. And Lisa's going to painstakingly go through all these things from the people that watch the show later on this evening. You're going to pick two more and notify those people that give away gift cards to our store, Paint Life Supply. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, it's free, easy to do. It's amazing like how many people watch our videos and don't subscribe. Just the subscriber, just all it does is it just kind of gives us an idea how many people.
If 2 million people watch your videos a month, and then you only have 400,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because we average about 50,000 views a day on our channel, and only 16% of the views come from subscribers. And the subscribers is just a way to gauge how many people are watching, supporting us, and appreciate what we do. And we appreciate when you subscribe, and then that little bell that's next to the subscribe button, when you click that, what that does is it allows YouTube to just email you every time I come out with a new video. They're not going to email you anything else. They're not going to market to you, try to scam you. It's a simple way. It's a simple gesture that says YouTube can email you when I post a video. So you get an email. It has the thumbnail, that says, hey, Chris came out with a new video.
So
do
Bill,
you care or not?
Bill Redford said, what would you recommend to paint a raw, very smooth concrete front porch? It's covered, but can get a little wet sometimes. It's also cured and was built in 1963.
So I've had a lot of success painting concrete, staining concrete with H&C stain. So that's a capital H, the and sign, capital C, and then...
What is that?
That sounds like Maya's like eating off the table or something. Eating a bowl or...
Yeah, the dog's not barking at us anymore, and we're hearing a noise.
I think she's found something to get into, but it's so H&C stain is absolutely an amazing stain. Absorbs into the concrete, doesn't create a top coat. It can be semi-transparent or opaque. They have water-based and oil-based, and I like the water-based. And I've had a lot of success doing walkways, driveways. She's licking out of a bowl. Somebody's here.
No, I think it's the dog.
I'll go check.
Okay. Well, I was just going to read something to you.
Hang on.
We'll hang on because there is somebody here.
Captain's here.
Okay. That's good. So, I was just going to read this question, and now I lost it.
Scroll up.
Okay. I just discovered your channel, Don H says, and subscribe. Thank you. I have nearly 100-year-old stucco home. I want to repair the edifice eaves myself. Is that advisable, or should I hire a professional?
Where is that? Oh, the edifice. That's it. I have to look up what edifice means.
Yeah, you stumped us.
I've never heard that word before.
So, but I have a question from Grant Kelly. Does the Exit Flex hose whip ever kink when being used?
So the Exit Flex whip, it's a metal braided whip. The other whip we have, the lime green one, is a cloth braided whip. Metal braided hoses or whips could actually kink them, and that's what, like, one of the things that was very annoying. I mean, actually, even a cloth braided hose can kink, but a metal braided hose, when you kink it, it creates a weak spot in the hose, which over time, eventually, you're going to get a leak in that hose. And with an airless sprayer, that could not be good when you're running high pressures. That's what airless sprayers do, is run thousands of PSI, 2,000, 3,000 PSI out of them. So we periodically, unfortunately, the new guys come, the hoses are looped and they'll yank on them and it causes a kink in them. You should replace them after a couple years, because eventually that kink is going to have a weak spot. It's really difficult to get a kink in a whip, because a whip is so flexible and it's such a short hose at the end, it's really hard to kink that thing. But I personally have never kinked a whip in my career, but it's doable because it is a metal braided hose. And a metal braided is if you're grounding, because you're using flammables, liquids, you have to properly ground your gun when using it, and you can properly ground your gun with a metal braided hose if you're using metal braided hose and a metal braided whip. So
So are moisture barriers under concrete important to epoxies on floor?
So, well, yes and no. If you don't have if you have a lot of a moisture problem, water coming up through the concrete, that's going to cause an issue with the application of epoxy and then the adhesion of the epoxy long term, because epoxies don't like water. If you let water stand on top of your epoxy, like I've done in the wintertime when it melts off the bottom of your garage, it actually milks the epoxy permanently where it has a cloudy look to it. Now, if you have moisture coming up through concrete, you're going to have some type of barrier there to stop that moisture from coming up, because you're going to have outgassing. You could get bubbles. There's the outgassing will create bubbles, and there's a lot of different issues you're going to run into, with concrete that's wet, because an epoxy is not a water-based coating.
So
Well, and
comment,
actually, there are water-based epoxies, but the ones I use are not.
so Connor said I'd really like to buy the PJSB blower bunch, but on checkout I found out you don't ship to Canada. So currently, the paint line products do not ship to Canada. They were being held up in customs. They were asking for a lot of money. They weren't getting to the customers. So Paint Line has been working on getting a warehouse in Canada, and they should be getting that warehouse open in a few months. Once it is open, they will be able to ship all their products all throughout Canada. So stay tuned. Once they have that open, we will be letting you know, and you'll be able to get Paint Line products in Canada.
So that is like the clever, because I've said we ship to every country in the world. There are a few items that are drop shipped from the manufacturers that we don't actually carry in stock, and those manufacturers will not ship themselves outside the U.S. Paint Line being one of them, and they're very popular products, and people want them all over the world. And
There's a warehouse over in Europe,
Europe,
and some people could get them over there.
in Europe, you can get them not through us, but through a distributor in Europe.
So an edifice means a large, imposing structure. So, I mean, if you had 100-year-old stucco house, would you attempt as a DIYer to tackle it, or would you have a professional painter come out to? Because I would think of like
Well,
non good things in a 100-year-old building, like not
Non-
lead, but like I don't know, asbestos, and I don't know if there'd be any safety. I don't know. I'm not the expert.
a professional coming in has to do everything according to the EPA rules and regulations. So it's a lot more difficult for them to deal with lead and asbestos than you as the homeowner. You can do anything you want on your property, but stucco repairs, that's an art and a skill to match stucco and get it to look correct. So if you're making a patch somewhere, once you paint it, the patch doesn't look worse than before, because you can make it actually look worse. So that there is an art and skill. If you don't, if it's a complicated stucco texture, it could be complicated to match. And that's taken me years to learn that art and skill craft. It might be best to hire a professional to come in, do your patches, and then you come back after and do the painting. And if it doesn't match well, then he's to blame. But stucco patching, I mean, it's not difficult. It just takes time, and you're going to have to look at the stucco and look at the texture, and you've got to determine, well, how in the heck was that texture created? And 100 years ago, what tools did they use? Did they use a broom? Did they use a daubing tool? There's so many different crazy things you can use to apply stucco, and you need to be able to recreate that to do.
Kevin McReynolds says, out here in downtown Boise, hi neighbor, purchased my condo a few years ago, starting to refresh things here, trying to decide if I want to keep the orange peel texture or skim it. Is it worth changing? Well, I would like to change all my orange peel.
I gotta say,
time and
man,
money.
like smooth walls, level 5 walls look amazing. I've done some in my place here, and I've got a heavy textures on like
Heavy.
a knockdown texture on mine. It's not easy to get rid of.
Oh,
It's
but you just got a tool. So stay
I just got a
tuned.
Planix. The Festool just came out with their new Planix, and the thing is absolutely sick.
Does it make it easy?
Oh my gosh, it makes it easier. So
I'm volunteering a
um,
room, a
if
wall.
I gotta say, you know, if you're down for the work, doing the work, it's the walls look a lot better. So my recommendation would be to get a Festool Planix, and it's a large disc sander. It hooks up to a vacuum, and it will make sanding the walls easier. So you're gonna sand it down the best you can, knock it down, and then you're gonna skim coat it. You're gonna top it with topping mud. And I use there's different things you can use. I use now the magic trowel. I troweled it with a magic trowel. Then you got to sand it, trowel it, sand it, and eventually you'll have smooth walls. Did them smooth, and then I did a concrete finish, Venetian plaster over the top. Looks absolutely amazing. It's well worth the work. You just gotta understand it's gonna take time and effort.
Yep. But I highly recommend it. And if you become a pro at it, come give me a bid.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing. But
All right.
so looks like Paint Life maybe lost their connection.
Yeah, because somebody says there's a buffering issue, but one of your videos, your van, you have only aluminum ladders. Any reason why? So we've had fiberglass ladders. Fiberglass ladders, when they're on the top or hang on the sides of your vehicles, they don't last forever. Sun and UV light destroys them. Aluminum ladders last forever, pretty much, if you don't abuse them. But I've got now aluminum little giant ladders, absolutely amazing. I love them. They're great, great ladders, multi-function ladders. So you don't have to have as many ladders anymore. And the aluminum ones are amazing. I do have fiberglass ones. So I got the little giant light, and the fiberglass is a little bit lighter than what I got. So but the difference between fiberglass, why I have fiberglass, doesn't conduct electricity. So electricians use fiberglass. Fiberglass, we've noticed the fiberglass feet, setting them down repetitively over time, the feet eventually break on them. Aluminum ladders last a lot longer. And so now I do have all aluminum, but I do got a couple, you'll eventually see them. I got two fiberglass ladders from Little Giant now that I'll be using this year.
Well, we do have some other things we have to get going.
We gotta get
so
going.
We need to wrap it here. If you watch this video and you want to let us know what Paint Life means to you, you have a chance to win 2 more gift cards that we're going to be giving out for $100 to our store.
Yep. So we're gonna check, and tomorrow morning we'll get up, scroll through the comment section, and pick 2 more to give away. We want to thank everybody, all 400,000 subscribers. Even if you don't subscribe, if you think it's a waste of time, we appreciate you just watching.
Yeah.
And so we did this live show to answer some questions, but to say thank you, to give out some gift cards to our store as a thank you to just a small amount of people, as appreciation. 1,500 videos, and we still are rocking about 2 videos a week. And
Carmelo Lopez has been following since 2011. Rebecca's with us, and Darren Smith's with us, and Brandon Mitchell, he says thank you. Knox is with us and says thank you. I can't say his name. Aho?
a crazy lot of people
Yes.
are on today and commenting, and we want to thank every one of you for your comments.
Thank you.
And I don't know, like the comments actually help drive the algorithm of the video, helps inspire YouTube's little robots to promote the video to more people, so more people can see our videos, get the help they need, painting their projects, getting inspired, going to work with a smile on your face, being proud that you're a painter. That's what we're all about. Painters helping painters.
Paint Life.
Paint Life.
Good night.
Out. Somewhere. we'll hit share. No, that's not the end button. There it is.